Good morning. My name is Tanya and this is Everything Spice. Welcome to my channel. Today's Saturday, so Saturday is usually a baking day. I try to do something that's a little more difficult, a little more complicated, and I'm working out of a recipe book, which I have for 100 baking books and a few cookbooks. This one is the Portuguese sweetbread. That's what we're going to do today, and this is by the Fanny Farmer Baking Book by Marion Cunningham. Marion is no longer with us, but her recipes live on. And they are all treasures. This book is a treasure to me. I've had it for years and years, and I work out of this book all the time, and I think it's just absolutely fantastic. And obviously, conversationally, I'm always cooking breakfast on the show, so why not do it again? So we're going to do this Portuguese sweetbread, and it's a little more involved, just so you know. Some recipes will be easy, some recipes will not be, but I have every confidence that you can do this if I can. So I have a cup of water that I boiled in, and I'm trying to get it away in the steam. A cup of water I boiled in the microwave, and then I added it to the pot, and now we're simmering one potato, good sized potato. We peeled it, sliced it, and put it in there. It has to be tender as we cooked, and it's extracting the starches because potato makes a soft dough, and that's what we want for this Portuguese bread. So once I get that to the tenderness I need, it's usually about 10 minutes, but electric takes a little bit longer, and I have an electric range. If you have gas, it'll probably be faster. And then you got to cool it because you can't touch it unless it's cool, or it'll like kill yeast. If you're using yeast, it will be a mucky dough. So we'll cool it, we'll get it to where the tenderness needs to be, and then on the flip side, I will continue the video so that we can see everything that needs to go into this bread, putting it together. And then, of course, the final product, you know, the aha moment, you know, ta-da! So thanks for joining me for Everything Spice. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to Everything Spice. My name is Tanya. All right, so the recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 eggs, stick of butter, in room temperature, some lemon, like the rind of the lemon, or the, you know, what you're gonna do is grate the lemon in. 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of warm water. We're going to use this yeast. This is the Red Star yeast. You can use any yeast. And it's going to be 2 1/4 times 2. 1/2 cup of dry milk. We have the potatoes, which when done are this. They're dried, but they're going to get mixed in. Okay? So what we're going to do, besides clattering and making tons of noise, what I have to do is do 2 1/4 teaspoons with one hand, good luck with that, of yeast, and I'm going to put it in the warm water. Okay, it can't be hot, but it does have to be at least 1, sprinkle it on top, 2, and then do the 4th. Give me a minute, I got one hand here, sorry. 4th is the purple one. And 2 of these, because 2 1/4 is 1 yeast, and they need the packages, call for 2 packages. I don't have 2 packages. I have a bulk because I do so much baking. So, and then the last thing I do with mine, right, besides cover this up, okay, is what I'm going to do with it. Yeast is a funny thing. It likes sugar. So I just happen to have some sugar here. I got my flour, my sugar, and a special white whole wheat flour. I'm gonna go and do this. Take a pinch, sprinkle it on top. And guess what happens to that yeast? The yeast likes to eat it. Yum, yum, yum. It does it all the time. It loves to eat the yeast. Well, I'm saying the yeast loves to eat the sugar, I should say, not the other way around. Flip that switch. Now mix it in. And it isn't as warm as it was when I started filming, because I had to stop filming a couple of times because of my children. That's the good thing about filming. You can edit everything out afterwards. So I probably won't edit this mistake over here. But this is yeast that's going to sit and get foamy. And that's a good thing, because you want to know if the yeast is good, you got to proof it. And how you proof it is you do it like this. The yeast is not any good. It's not going to grow. It's not going to bubble. It's not going to foam. But if it's good, it will do those things. So this is how you'd show if your yeast is any good. Okay, so the other thing, we're going to let that sit and get happy, right? We have 6 to 7 cups to add of flour as well. I have a small bowl here, and what I'm gonna do is mix in my butter, my eggs, and my sugar. Okay, and get that nice and, hang on. Let me do this for a second here. I gotta get a spoon. All right, so I have the butter in the bowl and it's soft, it's ready to go. And what I do is I combine the sugar and I whisk that in really well. And then each egg, I have 2 eggs, I incorporate separately. And they have to be mixed in really well till they have a very lemony color to them. Then you know you're on the right track. After that, all the other ingredients go in, whether it's the grated lemon, the flour, the salt, the yeast, and the potato mixture. That all gets mixed in really well. Now what happens with it is it's going to look kind of shaggy, but no worries. It is still perfecto. It is exactly the way it's supposed to look because we're going to knead it on the board and that's all going to come out. It's all going to be smooth in the end. So what I'm going to try to do is show you this. What this is 1 cup of whole white wheat and the rest of it is white flour. So about 5 cups to 6 of this. Like 5 cups, 6 altogether. 5 cups of regular flour, 1 cup of whole wheat, white flour, and then I got some on the bench here. I'm going to try to prop this up so that you can see me kneading this. Maybe this will work. I'm going to try it. It's very difficult with phones, as you must know. All right, so I'm going to put it on the bench, wash my hands, and I took off my rings so that you could see how this goes. I'll do it a couple of times. And depending on the humidity in your area, it's pretty hot today, pretty humid, I should say, more than hot. It's hot and humid in my area, the New England area. That might determine how much flour or how little flour you might need for this recipe, because humidity matters when it comes to baking. It's a science, right? So we're gonna push it in. This is how I do it. And then push it away from you. Try to gather as much as you can of your flour, and see, it's really absorbing, and I like it because the whole wheat part of it is probably what's absorbing it more than the white, if I want to be technical about it or I want to be truthful about it. So all of these ingredients come together and it really already smells, if you know you had smell-o-vision, which you don't, it already smells like Portuguese. A Portuguese bread that you smell in the bakeries in this area. So nice. The lemon, all of that. It's an easy recipe too. I've had some difficult recipes before with the Portuguese bread, so I think this might be one of my most successful. Thank you, Marion. You are a genius. You are a genius. As always, all her recipes are fabulous. I would highly recommend her baking book. When you're first learning, you need all those things. You need to have like a little bit of help. And then, like I said to you, it's a method. And afterwards, what you can do is just, look, push it away. So you grab it and you push it away. You take it, fold it, move it. Take it, fold it, move it. And this is all you do the whole time you're kneading your dough. And then what happens is with it, it'll come together as a nice smooth dough. And this is a really easy recipe that Marion did. So it actually works really well and it really feels nice in your hands. And some of them can be very tough. A lot of liquid, a lot of wetness, a lot of gloop with it. And like I mentioned to you, it can really matter. And then I might have to add a little bit more because you don't want too much flour though. So don't go crazy with the flour because it'll absorb it and then it'll harden the bread in the end. We're just gonna knead this dough. Hopefully you can see me kneading the dough until it becomes like a smooth ball. And what I'll do is I'll come back and show you what else I do with this once it forms into that smooth bowl. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. All right, we're back. So basically what this is this is what it looks like. Go like that. See what it stays like that. I have my big old delicious, love it to death. These are what I use for my rising. And I'm going to spray it with my trusty spray. okay? Gives it a little zhuzh and a shine on top. And then you put it in. One hand miracles. One hand miracle, people. All right, put it in, flip it, and make sure that the top has a nice grease on it, right? Nice spray on it. And you cover it up just like that, and we're gonna set it aside. See, I didn't need all of that flour because of the humidity being so high today in New England. So what we're gonna do is let it rise, and it is going to rise, my friends, and it's gonna be a beautiful Portuguese bread. So stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to Everything Spice, my friends. It has risen. And I have to play around with it a little bit because the pan was not the right one. So what we're gonna do is shape it into what we need it for. No pun intended with that word, kneading. Let me see, move that a little bit. There you go, get to the bottom. See, can you see it? So we're gonna knead this into a shape that we need. That will fit the pan. Perfect. Let out some of the air as well as we're moving it around. So beautiful, you pretty, pretty thing. And we're gonna use this pan. It's a deep pan. See it? Deep pan. Okay? We're gonna fit it into this pan and it's gonna overflow the pan. I've greased the pan with cooking spray and butter. And let me show you how it fits. Come over here, pretty, pretty. And look how pretty that looks. Okay? So this fits the pan good. Okay, I had another pan, it was too big. So this one's gonna fit better. And I might just spray the top of it so it doesn't dry out with my handy dandy cooking spray. Just to make sure that it doesn't, see, there you go. Okay, make the top nice and glistening and pretty. And look how pretty that is, that money shot. And this is deep, so it's gonna up, it's gonna rise, and it's going to be perfect. So what I'm gonna do is cover it. Let me show you. Cover it with some plastic wrap. And some, and a towel. Plastic wrap goes on it. And what I like to do with the plastic wrap is spray it because it needs to be sprayed. It just needs to be sprayed, my friends. Spray it. Because otherwise, what will happen is the bread might stick as it rises. And that is just a disaster of epic proportions that you go through all that trouble only to have your plastic wrap defeat you in the end. And you don't want that at all. So let's cover it lightly with the plastic wrap. And this is just keeping it from, you know, air getting in or anything like that. Here we go. And then what I like to do is put a kitchen towel over it. Hold one memento as I get me a kitchen towel. And usually I'm more organized than this, sorry. Okay. So what I have here is a kitchen towel. Back on the beat. Kitchen towel goes over it. Pretty, my chickens. You see my chicken? I'm a big fan of chickens, just so you know. And I'm gonna cover it up like this. And I'm gonna put it in my oven. Okay, and I have the oven light on. That's always, let me show you in a second what I'm talking about here. Okay. Here, come with me. Join me in the oven. And this is where I'm gonna put it, on my baking stone in my oven with the light on, okay? And that's gonna sit there for a few hours and get happy and get rising. And then we get to bake it. Like I said, some recipes are just a little bit more involved than others, okay? So I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. This is Everything Spice. My name is Tanya. I'll see you soon. Welcome back to my channel, Everything Spice. The revealing ceremony has begun. I preheated the oven to 350. As you can see, I have an egg wash here, which is 1 egg with a little bit of water foamed up, okay? Let me see. Ah, hallelujah, praise the Lord. Look at this. Look at that, my friends. That's a Portuguese bread ready to go into the oven, okay? So what we're gonna do is we are gonna take our egg wash and we are going to glisten lightly. Do it lightly. Put some, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Putting it on lightly. Try to do it as gentle as possible. Like, use very light movements. Don't dig into it because you could bust all of this. You could bust my bubble, as they say. And you don't want to do that after doing all this work for hours. You know what I mean? So put a nice glistening top on top. Now I'm using a silicone brush, but you can use a regular brush, whatever brushes you got. Whatever kind of brush like this I have. They have the nylon brushes. Whatever kind. I'm not endorsing anything, right? And then we're going to, once it's nice and glistened, perfecto, we are going to put it into the oven at 350 degrees for about, could take 45 to 50 minutes for it to rise up and be nice and golden brown. So I will show you the finished product when it comes out of the oven. Super excited. This is Portuguese sweetbread, and this is Everything Spice, and my name is Tanya. Stay tuned. All right, so I put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 to 50 minutes. I was turning it off, not often, but enough that it would brown evenly. And then I had to aluminum foil it, or tent it as they call it, so that it turned out golden brown. Welcome back to Everything Spice. It is finally done. And look at this beauty. Look at that. Look at the top. I buttered it, the top. I took some butter and I glistened it on the top. And look at that gorgeousness. The smell in here, it's like a Portuguese bakery. And look, hear that? This is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. All right, well, I am impressed. I am thrilled it turned out all right. Marion, God rest your soul, you did a great thing with this recipe, and I will be using it all the time now. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Portuguese sweetbread. If you do, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the next episode of Everything Spice. Have a great evening, morning, or afternoon, everybody. Be safe.